So Layne, man, you come from a great racing family. Your dad, Scott Riggs, is I don't know, he's just so good, so talented. It was fun to race against him, but man, not only very competitive in the truck side, ran Cup, did it all. I mean, your dad was just so talented as a NASCAR driver. You know, it's cool, and I know your dad's so proud. I mean, I just it's cool to. It don't get much better than what y'all are experience right now, and what you will what you and your family will experience for years to come. But man, take us back to the start, man. Take us. Obviously your dad been racing for a long time, and did you fall in love with it right away? Kind of share with us and our fans and your fans back early days for Layne Riggs. Take us back to the beginning and bring us up to where we're at today.
All right, starting at the beginning. It all started out at the dirt track behind our house with a little kid cart. We're actually going to build the shop directly behind our house, our
Mhm.
race shop, just our play shop at the time. And I think there was some kind of miscommunication in the construction versus the grading. So we had this big graded out spot behind the house. And Dad's always gone racing all the time when I was younger. And me and my grandpa got out there on an old tractor that had a big scrape blade on it. And he said, screw his shop. We're gonna build a go-kart track. So when Dad got home from whatever race he was running, we already had hay bales and we had a graded go-kart track and we were already running on it. So there went his shop plan grading idea. So we had to move the shop to a different location so we could keep the go-kart track, which we still run on to this day. I think I posted a video on social media just the other week of us running on it. So yeah, that's the start. And then I did a couple like uh kid kart things, but
Mhm.
I I remember saying, Mom, Dad, I don't like doing this racing thing. I gotta wait too long between races. Can we just go home where I can drive anytime I want to? And they're like, okay. So I did that, and then we ran here at the track at the house, and it was gosh, we used to have Wednesday night races here. I mean, competitive. I'm talking, we'd throw up money to win. We'd have bounties on people, and it was a full out. It was pretty much as close to a sanctioned racetrack as you could get it here at the track
What
at the
what
house.
what y'all call the Riggs? Was it Riggs Raceway? I mean, what was the name of the racetrack at your house, dude? That's
Oh,
pretty
I don't. It
awesome.
was just it was just the Riggs track, Riggs's track. That's what it was called. But we had a couple other friends that had some tracks too, so we like we made like a little schedule. Like it was crazy. We got too competitive with it. It got to the point where it wasn't fun anymore because we were all trying so hard. And it was so competitive, and
Right.
soaking tires and cheating up motors, and we had to start doing tech, and it's like that's not even fun. So that kind of fizzled away, and then I finally that's when I after doing that for so long, I'm like I just want let me try a car one time.
Right.
So Dad knew the hardships of racing. He knows how tough it is, changes your life, how much it takes from you. So, I tried all the stick and ball sports, basketball, baseball, golf, you name it. I tried it. Uh, I, it wasn't for me. It wasn't what
Right.
I wanted to do. I wasn't passionate about it. So I finally begged enough, and thank you, Mom. She finally got me. She convinced Dad to go out and buy a four-cylinder car. It was at Orange County Speedway, right up the road, about 7 or 8 minutes up the road. They have a class called the four-cylinder pure stock series. So we bought a used car, and we went to the racetrack for the first time. And I was 10 years old, and we ran, and I think I impressed everybody off the bat. They're like, we're gonna have to go test 10 times till he gets good. I think we went twice, and we went and raced the third weekend. Um, so went out. I finished second my first ever race, and won my second ever race. Now, granted, this is just a hobby division. This isn't a kids class. So my arch nemesis, I think he was like 67, and I was 10. And,
You're
and
10.
we were wrecking each other. We were right hooking each other. I mean, it was ugly, and we were pure rivals. And we had a 57-year age gap. So it
Dude, you were 10, he was 67.
yes, and we were
60.
beating the doors off of each other. It was crazy.
That's
So
amazing.
that's what taught me how to race. Not racing against kids. I raced against grown-ups from the start. So it started there, and then that progressed into winning the championship in that series. And Then the next year we bought a late model stock, and I ran the limited class there. And I think I ended up winning again my second or third race. We ended up winning our first race. So, it just felt like all the tasks that were given me was like, it takes a couple races, and all right, we got it. We won the championship there, and we moved up to late model, and I was ready to start, going to different tracks. I only ever ran Orange County Speedway,
Right.
but everything else was NASCAR sanctioned. And to run anything NASCAR sanctioned, you got to be 14,
Right.
as well as the Cars Tour, you had to be 14. So my first ever Cars Tour race was on my 14th birthday at Tri County Speedway. And at the time I was racing against Deke McCaskill, Josh Berry, Tommy Lemons.
You're racing against grown men.
Yes, I was 14 racing against these guys. First ever Cars Tour race. We qualified second to Deke McCaskill.
Wow.
And then I don't even remember how the race turned out, but ran Cars Tour for so many years. Here's the full circle moment. My last Cars Tour race I ran like 3 months ago at South Boston in Kevin Harvick's car. Me and Deke McCaskill battled it out for the win.
Dude, that's coming full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 7 or 8 years later.
Wow.
So we ran late models. 2022, we decided to go for the NASCAR Weekly Series Championship. Won the Weekly Series Championship along with making my first couple truck starts. Just progressed from there. Just kept having to dig at it, keep digging, and this past season we meshed late model racing. Made a couple truck starts, finished third at IRP in the Spire #7 truck.
Great race, man. Great race. I was there watching you. You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. It was Bono did a great job setting it up. I just had to hold the steering wheel. I definitely had to make sure I had perseverance, and then I think that opportunity, got me the Colleague ride to run those 3 Xfinity races for Colleague, and then hopefully just running well in those and showing that I had the potential. I was able to talk to Jerry Freeze, and they gave me the opportunity to run this truck.
Well, dude, it's so refreshing to hear your story and to see somebody like yourself that's so passionate and obviously so talented. What your experience is cool because you earned the right. You earned it. Nobody gave it to you. You earned it, and it's so refreshing because, as you know, it's doesn't happen that way very much, and it's good. Your story is really a great story for every racer in the world or in the United States to know that, hey, man, if you have that passion, you're good. You understand your craft. You study your craft. You race your tail off, and just all the knowledge and everything you have for racing, it is possible, and I think Josh Berry, yourself, there's a couple other ones out there over the years, not a lot, but you earn your right. When Kevin Harvick calls you and wants you to drive his late model, and just Colleague calls you and wants you to drive their Xfinity car, and by the way, you did a hell of a job. And then the truck races you ran, man, it's refreshing and cool, and it inspires a lot of other young racers out there to don't give up. And look at Layne Riggs. Look at what he's doing. And now having the opportunity of a lifetime with the organization that has trucks. It's in the Truck Series, in the Cup Series. And man, I'm excited for you because you have the talent, you have the ability, and I think you're a future star in our sport. So congratulations.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. And, talking about working on it, Dad told me, he said, I'm not going to work on this car because it was me and him and volunteer help for those 8 years that we raced, to like 10 years total on all of it.
Right.
And he said, if you're not going to help me on this car, we're not racing. If it gets wrecked and you're not going to help me fix it, we're not going racing. So, I can say I knew every nut and bolt on every car I've ever owned and worked on them all. And, if we wanted to go faster, we had to go down there and work on them. You know how that is.
Yeah, I think that's called tough love. That's a dad that really loves his son and wants him to, nobody gave your dad anything either. He earned everything he ever got, and he was just in, putting that work ethic in you, and he didn't have to tell you twice, obviously, because look how it's all turned out. You know what I mean? And so, man, such a great story. It's amazing.